On the other, Falcons coming into this, the expected winners of the matchup, but R8 have shown that they can pull out the upset potential at any given moment. The question is, will this moment be theirs right here?
Let's find out. Into kickoff we go for the grand finals. Again, if you guys are just now tuning in, you tuned in at a crazy time because you're probably sitting there like, whoa, what is R8 Esports doing here? Well, if you missed it, they pulled off the craziest Game 7 upset over Twisted Minds for a spot here in the grand final. And Team Falcons, they have just been waiting for them all day long. They've only played one series so far, so a little warm, but a little cold off this. And well, early stages of this game number one, it's pretty much been back and forth pressure, and first goal goes to R8.
I mean, hey, listen, if you're going to shock them, you got to do it early, and that's exactly what happens. It seems like Basel and honestly Suspect aren't really dropping off from where they started off earlier. I mean, great stuff coming in from this squad. Maybe catching Falcons a little bit off guard here, maybe Falcons having to wait a little bit longer and, you know, not being as warm, maybe watching the match and watching R8, maybe they felt like a little bit more confident, like, oh, we can handle this squad. And now, I mean, R8 almost able to get them again, but double commit on the defensive end is going to be okay, but only for so long as it goes back in the way of Falcons as they find the equalizer.
So many forced attempts, but huge props to TRK. He just circled around pretty much and lurked and waited for the opportunity to kind of just come to him, and he took advantage of it. Great shot on target. Falcons, quick response, which is what you need. You can't count out R8 Esports. They did make their way here very fairly, so being able to respond quickly is a great sign for the Falcons.
Yeah, I just want to keep that thing rolling, and right now that's going to be the case as TRK is going to get another. So R8 might have gotten the first goal, but very quickly very quickly the Falcons are going to answer back. Going to be going up 2-1 about 1 minute into this game.
And that was such a nasty call off too. It was full team effort on it, but Killers leaving that one for TRK to take it wherever he wanted in that low placement, just unsavable. And now Team Falcons go again. Attempted to make the pass over to Killers there, but R8 Esports doing a little bit better at intercepting with a couple of those touches. You see it again there, same routine. But Falcons still leading this game one with one goal on the board.
Yeah, Falcons doing a nice job of keeping it on the R8 half for now. We know that R8 can have solid defense, but how long is that defense going to be able to hold? So right now, it is going to be Killers. Looking to make a play happen, just going to be waiting in the wings as his teammates try to solidify this offensive push. Rawas with the center, and that's perfect as Killers is going to be capitalizing it. I mean, right now, Team Falcons, they are cooking with some hot fish grease, not messing around whatsoever. R8 Esports, you started strong, but can you stop the onslaught that the Falcons are bringing?
It's such classic Falcons too. It's a lot of placing that shot back post where you're in the complete opposite direction of anybody being able to make a save there. But even more importantly, it's a lot of passing plays, and it is very difficult for R8 to anticipate where these shots are coming from, right? It's another pass and play between the Falcons. TRK, though, I got to give some props to him. Him getting involved on here has made Falcons that much more dangerous. A lot of the times TRK is a quieter, more solid third man, but when he gets involved defensively, this squad just becomes unstoppable.
And unstoppable is exactly how they're looking right here in this game number one. I know R8 wanted to come out and have a little bit of a statement, but you have to remember, right? How did their series against Twisted Minds go? It was a blowout in game one for Twisted Minds. And then R8 came back and caught him slipping a couple games. So, I mean, maybe it'll be the same story here. But if you're Falcons, you understand. You just watched what happened. You're not going to try to let that exact same thing that just happened to that just happened with Twisted Minds happen with you here in the grand finals.
for sure. This is a team that knows exactly what they are capable of. They know that they are one of the absolute best in the world. And I've said it so many times throughout the weekend, but we have not seen the Falcons playing at their full potential. And that is a choice that they're making. They're not doing it because anybody's been holding them back. They just don't use more energy than required to play and win a series. So I think that they're very aware that R8, they're coming off of a little bit of a high right now. And they know exactly how much force to put forward, because notice they are playing a much more defensive heavy game now that they've given themselves that 3-goal cushion.
Yeah, and you can see right there, a nice setup did come in for R8. The Falcons read it like a book. Were able to get the save super cleanly. And now Killers taking it back the other way, needing to get it past one, is able to send it into the corner, which does loft it on up. Debating who's going to get the touch, and ends up going right back in the hands of R8. Gets sent up, another save coming out for TRK. Heading back the other way in favor of Falcons. Infield pass, off target slightly, not able to center it back down, and now TRK still going to be looking for his options, but his only option at the end of the day was R8 Esports taking it back the other way. But here comes Rawas as he steals it, and he gets an open net on the other end. And that right there is just a thing of beauty coming in from Rawas.
It's a very patient game. That demo also opened things up a little bit. R8 has these moments where they push up a little bit further than most people would, and against any other team that probably would result in a goal most of the time. But against the Falcons, you have to anticipate your third man getting demoed out almost every single time, or at least bumped out of the way. But 40 seconds left on the clock. R8 Esports trailing by 4 right now. They have opportunity to take a couple of shots. Here's one of them. The bump not quite working out successfully, but it was still a good plan. Just R8 unable to catch up to the Falcons.
Yeah, solid defense there from R8 to keep the 6th goal from going in, but right now the damage has already been done. If you are Falcons, feeling really good about your Game 1 performance in this grand finals, $5,500 go into first place. There's so much on the line. The Falcons did not come to mess around here in game number 1. They looked exceptionally strong. Even though Suspects able to score at the 0-second mark, it's not really going to matter all too much. Falcons having all the momentum in this series so far.
I will, commend Suspect a little bit. He has, like I said many, many times, been that MVP for R8. But I do gotta admit, historically, it has not worked out in their favor before. As far as the head-to-head between these two particular teams is concerned, it's a 5-0 win series-wise in favor of the Falcons with a 16-4 game win. So only 4 times has R8 ever been able to take even just a game off of the Falcons. But I mean, we saw it with victory. You can try it just one step at a time, but defense, realistically, that is what wins games. And if R8 can have a very strong game plan as far as their defense is concerned, it just takes one goal to win.
For sure, already a lot of pressure coming out from the Falcons, trying to assert their dominance early into this one. It is going to be TRK up high off the backboard. Can he get the angle? Oh my gosh, the save's there, but it doesn't matter because Killer's right there to collect it. And my goodness, I mean, you used to see TRK just trying to do it all and almost able to.
I mean, it's like I said, once TRK gets involved on the offensive front and the attacks, it's so much harder to stop the Falcons, especially because they have some of the quickest follow-ups and cleanups that I have seen in the game. And R8 trying to recreate that. Unfortunately for them, Killer's on the goal line, just stopping every shot that comes his way. And R8 Esports now opting to go for the bumps, for the demos, trying to clear out a path for themselves. But even then on low boost, Falcons still are so collected and methodical with their saves that R8 Esports, they're just kind of throwing this ball, hoping that something might find its way in.
Yeah, and right now, it's not looking like that's going to be the case. The defense has been solid from Falcons, not just in this game, but also in game number 1 as well. Only letting 1 goal go through, aside from that one at the very last second. So I'm sure the Falcons are feeling okay about their defensive performance so far, but they also understand this is only a 1-goal advantage that they have acquired. and they're going to need to get 1 or 2 more if they want to feel really comfortable in this game.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter if you're number 1 or 2 or wherever. If you're miles ahead, having insurance is never a bad thing. Anything can happen in Rocket League. So right now, Suspect, the man of the hour, who really has just given R8 so many chances, trying again here. This one, though, falls back into the orange half. And Bostel going to try and follow it and carry it. TRK in his face. Around 1, but Ruas stopping every play in its tracks.
Ruas doing a solid job yet again in this game number 2. All over the pitch. Killers going to be centering this one, but directly into 3 players, and that is just going to get booted all the way to the end. So R8 not really looking to control much right now, just trying to keep it out of their half. And I mean, you got to find a way to get some type of an offensive pressure that seems a little bit coordinated if you are R8. Maybe this will be it, but yet again, Killers, they read this one like a book. Stell able to collect this one, tries to go off the backboard with it to make a play, but it's just nothing going to be there. Ruas collecting yet again and getting the clear, and none of these attempts coming in from R8 have been able to even accumulate a decent look onto the net.
Yeah, I think right now Falcons are even ramping up aggression on their own half of the field. They're demoing that follow-up player from R8, so chances just become lesser and lesser as time goes on. Less than 2 minutes to go, though, off this game number 2. This one bounces down from the ceiling. Suspect really just trying to give a fighting chance to R8. Talem spots Suspect, but the shot is wide, and Bostel has to race back, gets demoed off the play, and Falcons racing back home. This could be a little bit interesting here. Ruas got bumped off, but Kaliers, he bails him out.
Yeah, and a little bit confusion on the defensive end right here for Falcons, but going to be able to get it out. Killers now up, and this is dangerous. This is where you don't want this squad, but it is going to get broken up by Suspect. As you can see, the potential for an infield pass is there for the Falcons if they can find a way to get possession back. But yet again, R8 going to be solid to get enough of a clear, but as I say that, Killers comes right in off the intercepted pass. Ruas to Killers. I mean, it's the tale as old as time.
Exactly. The twins just doing their thing, just adding to the montage of the crazy amount of duo plays that they have put up together over the years. 2-0 for Team Falcons off the kickoff into the hands of Bostel. Just going to try and slow things down a little bit here. If you are R8, though, you got to keep this ball a little bit closer if you want an attempt. I mean, that was one of the better times, but you do still continue to get boxed in. Falcons very aggressive, not afraid to push up into your face. So 40 left on the clock, down by 2. R8 Esports hoping for pretty much a miracle at this point.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen because Killers is going to say no siree. 3-0 advantage in game number 2 with just 30 seconds left. Team Falcons making another solid statement. Going to be picking up potentially another 3-goal win.
32 seconds and a 3-0 lead. Falcons pretty much doing what everybody expected, but I do gotta still give some flowers to R8 Esports. I think, they have been holding this decently close, and I know a lot of people think a 3-0 isn't decently close, but you gotta think about it in terms of skill that, respectfully, Falcons is miles ahead of most teams right now. So it is a very difficult thing to keep this at a close game and really force Falcons to earn their wins. And I will say earn because they are. Realistically, R8 is making them work for a couple of those goals around the defense. But this will hit the ground here, and there you have it. Game 2 into the hands of Falcons.
Yeah, maybe a new chance to maybe take a couple games here to answer back. But the last time they played, it was a 3-0 for Team Falcons. And right now, Falcons going to be looking to potentially go up 3-0 in this grand finals after the next 5 minutes.
R8 Esports off the rip had a little bit of pressure, which is a good thing. The Suspect's going to pop this one up. I like that play, though, from TRK. Now, not only are they bumping and demoing in general, they're bumping the person that's guarding the backboard, which makes it so much harder to defend. And Killers is just going to air dribble force this one through, and Falcons just doing exactly what we saw in those first two games, taking a lead and forcing their way on in.
It's just too much to handle right now if you are R8, as things are just looking shaky off the rip yet again. It seems like Falcons have had the momentum, have had the pace this entire series, and that's not stopping in game number 3.
No, it's not. The fun part about Falcons is they do not let up no matter how close you get. You even saw that save on the goal line there, right? That is the level of intensity that Falcons play at. They are constantly at a 9 or a 10, especially if it's something like this. You're in a final, you have a team that's really kind of challenging and forcing you to work a little bit harder than maybe you would like to. So what Falcons is going to do in response is they're going to give it their all. So about 2 minutes into this one here, Suspect, the player that I've just been kind of waiting to see, loses control, pass and play back and forth, shot on target, but Falcons still, for now, just a 1-goal lead. I say as this one hits on it. Pass over to TRK, Falcons up by 2.
Yeah, perfect timing on that one as Falcons yet again keeping this momentum going, and R8 just not able to find an answer to stop down this pace of play that Falcons are playing with. As I mean, I want to sit here and say that there's some positives that R8 can sit here and take away, but right now, I mean, it is just Falcons truly having their way on the pitch.
It is. This is their game and their series right now. R8 is game number 1. They looked a little bit more into it. This is one of the better opportunities that they've had in a while here, but Falcons, for the most part, just completely control everything. The second that ball falls into their hands, they do a great job of keeping it close and just really working together to, force space to be given to themselves. And you can see it again here. It's working together to push towards that net, but R8, a breakaway moment here. This could be big, but they call themselves off of it, race back home, try and follow the clear, and they do so successfully.
Yes, they do. Talem try to get the clear out, not able to get it past 50-yard line just quite yet. Oh my goodness, a shot from TRK out of nowhere, almost on target. Killers trying to get it past, not going to be able to. R8 with an opportunity, but Rawas yet again intercepts and breaks up the play. So here we go again. R8 is going to re-corral this one and not even going to be able to go up for it because that's Killers already able to get a touch to it. He centers it as well and leaves it down low, try to get the bump on a Suspect to leave it out the way. That's not going to work out in Team Falcons' favor, as the defense from R8 has just been super solid when they need to, but sometimes, guess what? The Falcons are just the Falcons, and they're able to crack this incredible defense that they've really shown. Because I'm not kidding when I say R8 have had some incredible defensive holds throughout this entire tournament, and there we go, as R8 finally going to be able to get one on the board, sends it right past Rawas and TRK.
One of the rarer defensive mistakes from the Falcons was having 2 people headed up towards that ball. I don't think they expected Suspect to be lurking that closely onto them. But 2 minutes to go, reset forward. It's just a quick response to make up for a quote-unquote mistake. But Falcons back in this, back up by 2. I mean, it's just the speed and the mechanics from TRK in this series, and honestly throughout this weekend, I gotta commend him. He really has just been one to mess with.
Yeah, he's been playing absolutely out of his mind and gonna be looking to keep that going here and now. They've got the 2-goal advantage. It's a nice cushion, but 3 is even better. They've been able to get 3 goals advantage in each game so far, but R8 going to close that gap as Suspect is going to put another one on his tally.
Oh man, who was on that last challenge there? I don't know. It just went a bit too fast for me, but last defender went for a challenge with 0 connection on it, and it was a quick follow-up from R8. Great sense of ability. The fact that they were able to capitalize on that moment is huge, and Falcons looking to do the same here. Reset forward from Ruas. TRK trying to center and tee up anybody, but Killers is just going to have to slow it down in the mid here. And Talem doing everything in his power to slow down Falcons right now, but Falcons, for the most part, still forcing R8 out. And 1:22 to go. There's a shot opportunity. It's a floater. Double commit to keep this one out. Maybe not the best of ideas from Falcons, but not too bad.
Yeah, Talem right now in R8 going to need to start up this offensive play. They've got a minute left to do it, looking for the potential center. Does go off the backboard, and there's the center there, but the defense holding it down. Yet again, Falcons understand exactly what R8 are trying to do, and they're thwarting all of this pressure, holding it off, trying to send it back the other way. And here we go as Falcons potentially able to apply some more pressure of their own. The demo comes out off the backboard. Rawas leaves it off for him, and that's all she wrote. TRK is going to be putting that one home, giving Falcons that 2-goal cushion yet again.
Again, off that back wall is so dangerous for these teams to be giving up goals. And R8 just didn't have anybody there to cover it. Quick follow-up, up by 2, 42 seconds left on the clock. Potentially 3 here off the kickoff. And Killers takes their boost, pinches it down. You see TRK already lurking. That's a great beat out from Suspects. 30 seconds though left on the clock to try and find 2 goals here. Back in the favor of the Falcons. This becomes way more dangerous when TRK has space just like this.
A lot of space, a lot of time, and almost another option right there, but ended up going for it instead of dumping it off or leaving it off for a potential pass. And right now, Falcons back on the defensive end, but it's not going to matter much as this clock hits 0 with a 2-goal advantage. Falcons doing a solid job in this grand finals. I will say, like, you can't sit here and be too surprised that Falcons are able to score so much. I mean, you know, this is one of the best teams in the world, and they're going up against a squad in the Community Cup that really, you know, probably understands that they more than likely don't have a chance of beating them more days than not.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect given to the Falcons with what they're capable of. I think, I mean, the same thing happens in North America with G2. Like, some people, they're aware that it's a one game at a time in a series kind of, you know, situation. And you can try your hardest, but Falcons, when they're playing at their peak, are one of the deadliest teams, you know, in the league. And so when you're R8, you pretty much just have to take what you can do in stride as best as you can. I mean, you already pulled the upset off Twisted Minds. You know, you got to be proud with what you're doing. The fact that you made it into a grand final even is insane in and of itself. So you do the best that you can. Maybe you can get one more off in the series, but Team Falcons, there's just too much pressure for R8.
And right now, you know what they say, pressure makes diamonds. Just waiting to see one of those diamonds form right here for Team Falcons. As all of this opportunity they're giving themselves is really going to be a recipe for success the rest of this way in this game number 4. Looking to potentially break out here. The demo does come out, leaving this one as a toss-up. It's going to be heading back toward the Falcons half, though. It's going to be TRK needing to make a play, guiding this one over past one defender. It's going to be all 3 from R8 back for this one. And you can see Team Falcons playing really passive, but as I say that, Killers slots this one in off the sidewall. And I mean, just a beauty overall. That playing so defensive, and then out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, Rawas steals it, sends it off the side, and I mean, that's just a thing of beauty right there coming in for the Falcons. You can't even describe it. It's just incredible.
It is the Falcons. They are so synergetic and so communicative. I would love to hear their comms, but their
comms
level of communication
silent.
are insane.
They've got twins on their team. Their comms are probably silent. They've got telepathy. Yeah, exactly. Whatever it is, they can read each other's minds. You know, they don't need to talk. They're good to go. Oh man.
Well, I mean, there's not much to say.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're up 3-0 on match point, up 1-0 in the game. Unfortunately for R8, this is one of the better opportunities they've had, but every shot, unfortunately, just, again, falls into the hands of a Falcons player. It turns into a quick counter and a quick play for them, sometimes resulting in a goal. This time they've kept it at a 1-goal game. If you could find something, you might be able to do what feels impossible, and here's the opportunity to do so. Talem is going to float one on in. It was a pass from Basil off the side, and great play and some hope for R8 Esports.
Yeah, Rawas and Killers not able to get back in time. R8 have life. 2 minutes, 17 seconds remain. If you are a fan of the Falcons, there is a lot of hope that they are still going to be able to pull this one out because you understand what this squad is capable of. But at the end of the day, you also understand the type of grit that R8 have and understand that this squad is never going to back down. They are never going to give up whatsoever. And you're going to have to put them away if you want to go home as the grand champions of the Esports World Cup Community Cup featuring Rocket League MENA Edition.
That was such a close call off of it. TRK's double denied by Suspect. And Killers just racing back home, gets a full tank of boost, reset to the mid, past one defender, TRK in a 1v1 situation, doesn't get the bump off of it, but it's fine. Killers right behind him to clean that up, and the Falcons go up 2-1 at 1:29.
That is just unstoppable. Like, it doesn't matter how good your defense is, there's just someone else there to follow it up. And if you're R8, that's gotta hurt because now you're really down and out. I mean, you got 90 seconds left on the clock, down by 1 against one of the best teams in the world. If you want to make this comeback, you're gonna need to see some absolute class from R8 Esports, and maybe here, but no, the defense. You saw how fast all 3 players from Falcons just got back. Like, oh my goodness. They are swarming. They understand, look, we are only up by 1. If they let this goal go through, anything can happen. And my goodness, that was so impressive just how quickly they all got back into that goalie box.
I mean, they're not going to allow any risk, you know, for R8 Esports to try and tie things up in this last minute or so. So everybody's going to throw themselves at this ball. I mean, 3 people on 1 attempt is 3 times, you know, the probability of making the save. And same can be said for R8 Esports. They're also just taking turns throwing themselves at this ball, trying to stop it in its tracks. TRK with 30 seconds left on the clock here, denied of his. It's a huge boomer clear for R8 Esports. Ruas bumped off the play, and Bostel is going to leave this one. He tried to leave it for TRK, or for Talon, excuse me, but gets demoed off for his efforts, and 15 to go. Falcons, that 1-goal lead, looking a lot more like 5.
Yes, right now, I mean, only a couple seconds left, and oh man, Rawas almost able to get another one for the road, but it's not going to matter much as Team Falcon's going to try and kill this one. They've got to get it on the ground, and they're going to be able to do it with the whiff.